A few days ago, a document was published that has absolutely massive ramifications for the crypto industry. Now, it's a piece of news that seems to have slipped largely under the radar, as most in the crypto community have been preoccupied with arguing amongst themselves over whether the recent surge in prices means the bull market is back or the biggest bear trap in history is being laid. And, in any case, there's not exactly a shortage of consequential stories kicking around at the moment. Genesis filing for bankruptcy and questions over DCG's future. The new CEO of FTX pondering restarting the exchange. The brief frenzy of panic over the Justice Department's announcement of a crypto enforcement action, followed by everyone wondering whether they ought to have heard of Bitslato before now. Nope, me neither. But trust me, folks, what I'm about to talk about could be bigger than all of them. Okay, enough with the suspense. On Friday last week, the SEC announced that it had filed charges against Avraham Eisenberg, the guy behind the Mango Markets exploit from back in October. I covered this story in a recent video over on our main channel a few weeks back, which gives you the full rundown of what happened. Link in the description. TLDR, Mango is a decentralized futures exchange. Eisenberg was able to manipulate the price of its native Mango token and borrow over $100 million worth of crypto without having to pay it back. Now, you'd have thought that someone smart enough to pull off something like that would have then slunk back into the ether, but this is crypto, where the normal rules do not apply and common sense seems to get sent to a burn address. Yep, Eisenberg then let everyone know that he'd done it via Twitter, stating, quote, "I believe all of our actions were legal open market actions using the protocol as designed, even if the development team did not fully anticipate all the consequences of setting parameters the way they are." Cue much code is law debate and the emergence of a new baddie for crypto's already extensive collection. Now, Eisenberg eventually struck a deal with the Mango DAO to return a lot of the money in exchange for them not pressing charges, which would have been fine for old Avi were it not for the fact that US authorities weren't in on the deal. He was arrested in Puerto Rico in late December and is now awaiting transfer to NYC to have the proverbial book thrown at him. All of which brings us to the events of Friday. Now, the first paragraph of the SEC's press release announcing the charges contained an ominous line. It stated that Eisenberg has been charged with, quote, "manipulating the Mango token, a so-called governance token that was offered and sold as a security. Investigation into other securities law violations and into other entities and persons relating to the alleged misconduct are ongoing." Yes, you heard that correctly. The SEC views the Mango token as a security. As you'll no doubt know, the question of whether or not any cryptocurrency is a security is an uncomfortably spicy one for the industry at the moment and forms the basis of the never-ending story. I mean, the SEC's case against XRP issuer Ripple. Put simply, a security is a fungible asset that holds some monetary value and can be easily traded. Stocks and bonds are both examples of securities. In the eyes of the SEC, most cryptocurrencies are too, with the exception of Bitcoin's BTC, which has been officially designated as a commodity. Now, in the United States, you need yourself a license to trade securities, and if you don't have one, then you can expect the SEC to come and open up a supersized can of prime-grade whoop-ass on you if you start trading them. And the argument over whether or not cryptocurrencies are securities has been going on for quite some time now and isn't likely to be resolved until a judgment is reached in the SEC's case against Ripple, which, let me remind you, began back in 2020. The most recent date to be dangled in front of us for a resolution is June, according to Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse. But given how long this case has been dragging on, well... Thanks, Nicole. Love your work. Anyway, the reason why the Ripple case is so important is because of precedent. If the judge sides with the SEC, then this will essentially give the regulator the green light to go after other crypto companies that it deems to have sold securities without being registered to do so. In case it wasn't already apparent, that is a lot of crypto companies. Which brings us back to the charge against Avi Eisenberg and why it is particularly concerning. Leaving aside Eisenberg's part in all of this for just a moment, what we have here is the SEC stating that it believes the Mango token, that is, the governance token of a DeFi protocol, to be a security. That's right, it's not only crypto companies like Ripple, but crypto projects like Mango Markets that may be in the SEC's line of sight too. Mango is not only a DeFi protocol, but, for those who've not been paying attention, a DAO as well, so could have arguably been considered to be less at risk of enforcement action from the likes of the SEC. Well, apparently not, and the implications of this are enormous. If the Mango token is a security in the opinion of the SEC, then that presumably means Gary Gensler and his gang consider every other DeFi governance token to be a security as well. From Aave to Uni, I couldn't think of one beginning with Z. This filing against Avi will be causing sleepless nights for him, Mango, and anyone else who's been involved in issuing a DeFi governance token of late. Now, we all know that a regulatory reckoning is coming for crypto at some point. But this filing should show us that there's a good chance it's going to be a lot more far-reaching than many may have thought. Unless politicians in the US and elsewhere get their act together and pass some considered and sensible regulations soon, then the SEC and other agencies are likely to start throwing their weight around with no consideration for the damage they might do. Avi Eisenberg may have the vibe of someone you dearly hope not to have to end up talking to at a party, but his fate is now intertwined with that of much of the crypto industry.